Hello, lovely ladies, badass boss babes in empowering women entrepreneurs to succeed in business. I am your hostess with the mostest, Rayana Starr, and this lovely woman with me is Shirley Dodson. And Shirley Dodson is a website designer, and she helps women on a tight budget create their own websites. And so Shirley took me up on my invitation in the group to have a badass boss babe interview so that you can all get to know her. If this is something you want to do, please let me know in a DM or on one of the posts that I post about doing these interviews. It's a wonderful way for us all to get to know each other better. They're free, there's no catch. I just want to do something different in my group that gets us building relationships with each other. And I have a hair in my mouth and dogs barking in the background. I hope you can't hear them. So Shirley, thank you. You're just so lovely and adorable. And I just wanted to know, why'd you take me up on this interview?
Well, I have been working on getting myself out there a little bit more. As an introvert, it's something that I'm working on, getting myself out there, getting out of my comfort zone. And you just happened to pop up as I was thinking, I should go find someone to talk to.
Awesome. Great timing.
I know, right?
What are you hoping to get out of the interview?
Help people learn a little bit more about me and what I do, and hopefully provide a little bit of help and guidance for people who I know are really struggling with what I help with.
Okay. And so I'm just curious, we were talking earlier and you said you learned how to build websites when you were 14 years old. Tell me a little of the backstory of that. Like, are you just naturally techie? But what got you tinkering around to start building websites at 14 years old? That's so cool.
All right, so before I answer your specific question, I just want to preface this by putting it into context.
Okay.
Because my appearances might not be particularly telling of my actual age. I started building websites when I was 14 in the year 2000. So this was back before website builders were a thing. I taught myself to code. I was coding websites when I was 14. And as to what got me into it, I was 14, so I'm not too embarrassed to say this, rabbits. I had a couple of rabbits and I was pretty obsessed with rabbits in general. And for some reason, I saw something somewhere that got me thinking, I should make a website about bunnies. And so I did. I learned how to code by figuring out how other websites were coded, and I decoded it to teach myself to code. And then I made a website about rabbits.
About rabbits?
About rabbits.
Do you have pet rabbits now?
I recently lost my my most recent one. He was long-lived for a bunny by a lot.
How long did he live?
Twice as long as a rabbit is reasonably expected to live. I called him the immortal one. He lived to be 15 and a half.
And what's the average life expectancy for a domestic rabbit?
About 8 to 10.
Wow, that's amazing. Why do you think he lived so long?
I don't know. He was also blessed with impeccable health. Like, he was never sick. Not once.
Just one day he just died?
Well, no, unfortunately. He outlived the functionality of his body, unfortunately. He lost the ability to really move around, and it just got to the point where it was a quality of life question for him.
So it was just old age.
It was just old age.
And what is it about bunny rabbits?
Well, pets in general, but at the time I had just relatively recently gotten a couple of rabbits of my own that, oh my gosh, baby bunnies, if you've never had a baby rabbit, you don't understand. They're so cute. And so, yeah, I was recently obsessed with them. And so, teenage girl, that's where my mind was. I guess I should be glad I didn't make a website about boys.
So in the year 2000, you were 14 years old?
Mm-hmm.
So
don't do that. Wait, hang on. How old am I? I think I'm 35.
35. Okay. You look a lot younger. And
I said, I don't look my age. So I
yeah,
had to
yeah,
preface that
it's a
because
good point. Yeah.
14 might be 10 years ago. And no,
Well,
it was,
you'll be grateful for that as you age, believe me, because yeah,
I,
that's one. So you taught yourself how to code at 14?
I sure did.
How? Say a little bit about that process and why. What was it? Was it just interesting to you? Fun? What?
It became interesting. Like anyone who codes, and somehow everyone in my family, and by family, I mean my siblings, we all ended up some kind of coder. And there is this aggravating joy involved with coding because when you're trying to figure it out, it's the most aggravating thing in the world. It's just like, why isn't this working? And then the instant it works, it's just like, yes. Out. And so it's
So
basically not
is
about
it
that.
like you like the challenge?
I like
Yeah.
bending the internet to my will. It's quite addicting.
Bending the internet to your will. So say more about like now you're like, because if you code, there's a lot of things you can do with coding, but
Oh, yeah.
you landed on creating websites. Were you creating websites from scratch, just writing your own code?
Mhm. Yeah. So for the longest time, I was just coding my own projects, coding my own websites from scratch for just personal projects. I've gone so far as to learn there are different types of code, and I don't even know what I should really get into without boring your viewers, but there's front end code that controls the design and everything that you're looking at. And then there's back end code, which controls dynamic, interesting things like databases that helps a website be dynamic.
Functionality.
When you submit forms, the information goes somewhere. And so I eventually learned how to handle both front and back end types of code, building a whole website from scratch, including a database, yada, 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 for personal projects. But when I went to start my own web design business, which, I feel like is the natural progression of something like that, I really felt like I love code, but for web design clients who just want a website, I wanted them to have a website that they were comfortable using on their own. And so I wanted to find a website builder, a platform where once the website is designed and built and I hand it off to them, they are comfortable using it. So that's how I ended up, even though
they don't have to write code. You were looking for the platform, and you have some you don't like and others you do like. What platform do you like to work on?
So the platform that I landed on that I'm specialized in is Squarespace, actually. And when I first launched my business, for the longest time, what I was really known for was my ability to customize Squarespace templates beyond their native abilities, thanks to my coding. So yeah, Squarespace is my preferred platform. It's super easy to use. You land on their platform for the very first time, never been there before, and you can have a website installed with demo content that you can play with in like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's great. And then do you help clients learn that? And then if they need something customized, you'll write the code for them?
Assuming that it is something that I can customize within Squarespace, because unlike other there are limitations. Like unlike other website building platforms where you have access to the source code, Squarespace is not like that. They're closed source. So Squarespace has access to Squarespace code. I can alter code that affects what you see and a little bit about the behavior, but some things are kind of sort of off. I don't want to say off limits, not possible, just not possible.
Right. Got it. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So you use Squarespace and you help clients who are on a tight budget, mainly women entrepreneurs.
Mainly.
Yeah. So who's your soulmate client? Tell me your client avatar.
So I work with online service providers. I can work with regular service providers too, but what I teach and what I do is better suited for online service providers. And that includes a lot of coaches and a lot of VAs, social media managers, those types of services.
Okay.
And they are probably in the beginning-ish stages of their business because they're still working on growing. They, haven't fully latched into that cash flow. And so they're trying to build their own website, but they can't afford help. And so that's where I come in and I help them sort of bridge the gap.
What a wonderful thing. Because I know you and I were briefly talking about this before we started the interview that while I was having technology issues, we were going to go live on Facebook today with this interview, and I was locked out of my account. And so I jumped through the hoops to get unlocked, and it still wouldn't let me go live in the group. So we had to do this in Zoom, and then I'm posting it after the fact. So we're sorry it can't be more interactive, but please, in the comments below, share what you liked about this interview. Let us know, you can reach out to Shirley about her services. But Shirley, the main reason you're doing this do-it-yourself coaching women entrepreneurs on building their own websites in Squarespace. Why? What led you to, instead of building websites, which you can make a lot more money, and I know you've got a course on this, but what is it about that niche that led you to create that service?
I just saw a need. Like, I'm out there, I see people like pitching their web design services. They're trying to find web design clients. And there are people that are just like, I can't afford you. And because I can't afford you, I'm going to do it myself. And then as I am a DIY coach, I go and I visit a whole lot of DIY websites. And I'm just like, you don't know what you're doing. And so I know that people need help with this. And so it's just like, I know that you can't afford a web designer, but you also aren't versed in color theory, design theory, content strategy. You don't know any of this stuff. And so if you're going to do this yourself, then you need someone to help you.
There you go. So what else do you want people to know about you on a more personal level? Like, it's really cute that you like bunny rabbits. Are you going to get another one? And that you had a bunny rabbit live twice as long as it was supposed to. So you have good karma with bunny rabbits, and you're meant to have bunny rabbits. But what else do you want people to know about you on a more personal level?
Well, not just bunnies. I love animals in general. And I used to call myself the walking dog encyclopedia. Like, you show me a dog, I can tell you what it is, and I can tell you what it does, and I can tell you where it's from. I can tell you the different colors and coats it comes in. So as cute and adorable, and as much as I love rabbits, dogs are kind of sort of where my heart is, actually.
You have a dog?
No, I've been dogless for over a decade.
Girl, go into a shelter and go rescue a life. Go do that this week.
Just right now? No, should I go? Okay.
I'm a big dog rescue advocate. I've probably helped find homes for hundreds of dogs in my lifetime.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. I have 3 rescues. Well, one of them stalked me when I was living in Baja, but he wasn't really a rescue as far as getting it from a shelter or rescue, but I rescued him off the streets of Baja, and the other 2 were rescues. So it's just funny how they've all come to me, but they're my little fur family. Yeah, dogs are awesome. I'm a big animal lover too. Yeah. So what's keeping you from having a dog?
Being responsible. I know that dogs take time, and they take money, and they take space, and I don't have any of that to spare. So I don't have a dog because I can't give it what it needs right now.
Okay, well, that's very responsible of you. Yeah. And I know other people who have felt that way, the way you feel. And what they found is it's like having children or getting married. There's never a good time. But if that's something you really long for, if you make that commitment, your life will rearrange around it. So just something to think about.
Definitely.
And if you're working from home, I work from home, and my dogs they love it. I'm always around. So that's something.
Well, the working from home is a relatively new thing. So okay. That's different as of the last couple of years. For the longest time, I basically had like 2 full-time jobs. So it wasn't a good situation.
Well, maybe you're easing into a time of your life where you can have a dog.
Yes, I think it's coming. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. And if you were to have a dog, what kind of dog would you have? Do you have a favorite breed or mix of breeds?
I have three that I can't figure out which one I'm gonna get first. Are you familiar with what a Havanese is?
Oh, yeah. I used to have a dog walking, dog boarding, pet sitting company. So I'm very
Cool.
familiar with breeds. Yeah. Long time ago. Yeah.
So I had a Havanese when I was like 10, and I really enjoy the breed. But then my sister got me obsessed with corgis, and so now I'm just like, I really want a cardigan. But my heart breed, the one where I'm just like, I will stop and stare every time I see one, is a German Shepherd.
All right. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. My brother and his wife have a German Shepherd, Claire Bear, and she's got satellite saucers for ears. I mean,
I've
and
seen,
she is literally one of the most beautiful German Shepherds I've ever seen. She's just breathtakingly gorgeous. And
absolutely.
yeah, are you familiar with the show Queer Eye? For this
I'm
Queer
familiar
Eye?
with it. I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen an episode.
it's on Netflix and it's kind of a cute episode of five gay guys that go in and transform different people's lives who really need it. And one of them, Anthony, who does the cooking part of the show, he is obsessed with corgis. He loves them. And so they had someone who they went in on the show to transform, and they had a corgi, and he was just in love with this little dog. It was adorable. It was very cute. All right. So what do you want? If you could just let people know um, an action to take that you'd like them to take, what is it? What's the offer you'd like to make, the pitch that you'd like to promote, and why? You know, why should people work with you to build their own website?
Because websites are deceptively simple. Like, you look at a website and you think that there's nothing to it until you get in there and you actually start trying to build one yourself. And then suddenly you realize you're making all of these decisions that you don't know how to make. And so you just start making decisions at random. And random decisions, by definition, are not strategic. And your website is a marketing tool and it needs to be strategic. So you can learn to do anything, but that doesn't mean you can learn it by tomorrow, and especially not a website. And so you need guidance in order to make sure that you're building a website that not just exists, but a website that works, because the two are not the same.
And is your goal to simplify that process for women entrepreneurs who are starting out and make it more affordable?
Absolutely. I have worked really hard to come up with a system that allows online service providers who are not designers, no design experience whatsoever, to create a beautiful, attractive, strategic website with zero overwhelm. I've taken care of 90% of the decision making through my process.
Awesome. And so if someone wanted to work with you, how would they go about doing that? Is there a course, or do you work with them one-on-one? I know you have a Facebook group, and I'm going to include the link to her Facebook group. And if you, I'm going to post this once this Zoom video converts, and that takes a few minutes. I'm going to post it into the Facebook group. I want you to go in there and in a comment, try and be the first comment. I want you to give them a link to your website or wherever it is you want them to go. Ladies, if you're just starting out, or you've been thinking about getting a website and you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on it and wait for months and hope the person designing it is getting your idea right, then this is a great way to get a website up and running quickly, cost effectively, and be part of the creation process and have control over it in a very affordable way. And Shirley, you just see how cute she is and how smart she is. And she's going to coach you through that process. She has a Facebook group called
DIY website design for online service providers.
So there you have it. I'm going to include the links in this. Up above, you should see the links to her website, her her Facebook group. And then she's going to post down below this video in the comments section, a link to her website and how you can, or landing page, whatever it is, how you can learn more about her do-it-yourself website design services. So if you're a woman on a budget, Shirley's here to help. So before I cut you loose, Shirley, there's one more thing I want to ask you. What's your rooftop message that if you were to shout it from the rooftop for all women entrepreneurs to hear and heed, what would that message be?
You can do anything that you want. And that I fully 100% believe, full stop. However, sometimes you don't have to do it alone because time is precious. And that time could be better spent doing something that you would much rather be doing.
Awesome. So I love it. You can do anything, and with a little bit of help, you can do it faster and easier. So Shirley's here to help. Shirley Dodson. She's in our group. You can join her group or go to her website and see if it feels like a fit for you to work with Shirley. I'm so glad you took me up on this invitation, Shirley. You're just delightful, smart, and I hope you rescue a dog soon when the timing is right.
Absolutely.
And you get what you really want, like rescue a German Shepherd. There you go. You'll be safe and happy.
And so happy.
Yes. And I hope I see more of you in the group. Please feel free to share tips and how-tos and helpful hints about their online presence or their website design. Feel free to position yourself as an expert in the group by educating people with content that's helpful. You can share your blog posts on there, whatever you want to do. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. It's just lovely to get to know you a little bit. And please let me know when you get a bunny or a dog. I would love to have you post a picture of it on the website.
Absolutely. I'll share it in your group.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And I will message you on Facebook when it's in the group so that you can go in there and add some contact information.
Absolutely.
Okay. Everybody, Shirley Dodson, the do-it-yourself website design coach, here to save you time and money. All right, go check her out. Bye, everybody.
Bye.